Breaking news, actor Gene Hackman's cause of death revealed. It is tragic, sad. Officials tonight say the actor's wife died a week before Hackman.
An investigation into the mysterious deaths of legendary actor Gene Hackman.
For decades, Hollywood legend Gene Hackman has remained a private figure, rarely stepping into the spotlight outside of his iconic film roles. But now, a chilling discovery has thrust his name back into the headlines. The FBI has just uncovered a long-lost suicide note allegedly written by Hackman's wife, sparking a storm of questions and speculation. What secrets does this note contain? Was there something hidden in their past that no one ever suspected? And why is the FBI involved after all these years? Join us as we unravel the mystery behind this haunting discovery. Hollywood is still reeling from the unexpected loss of legendary actor Gene Hackman, who was found dead at the age of 95 in his Santa Fe, New Mexico, home. His wife, Betsy Arakawa, 65, Gene Hackman, his wife, and one of their dogs were all found dead at their Santa Fe home. One of their beloved dogs was also discovered lifeless inside the residence on February 26. As rumors swirl about the cause of their deaths, Gene's extended family is urging patience and caution. Tim Hackman, the son of Gene's brother Richard, explained that the family is waiting for official reports from the coroner before making any assumptions. "We're waiting on toxicology results," Tim told US Weekly on Monday. Investigators in Santa Fe, New Mexico, are revealing the results of the toxicology and autopsy report that will give us the answers we need. "There are plenty of theories out there, but I don't want to speculate. It's easy to assume the worst, but we want to focus on the facts." Despite the many unanswered questions, Tim emphasized that the family is choosing to stay positive until they have more clarity. "Once we know the truth, we will deal with it," he added. The details surrounding the discovery of their bodies paint a tragic scene. Maintenance workers who entered the home stumbled upon Gene and Betsy in separate areas of the large, luxurious residence. According to Sheriff Aiden Mendoza, evidence suggests that they had been deceased for several days, possibly even up to 2 weeks before they were found. Hackman died on February 17, 9 days before his body was discovered. By examining his pacemaker, investigators determined that Gene's body was located near a pair of sunglasses in the mudroom. Police documents indicate that he appeared to have collapsed suddenly. Meanwhile, Betsy was found on the bathroom floor near the home's entrance, with prescription pill bottles scattered around her. The affidavit described some signs of advanced decomposition, including bloating in her face and mummification in her hands and feet. Despite the eerie circumstances, investigators found no signs of foul play. There was no indication of movement or struggle in the house, Sheriff Mendoza explained. It's difficult to determine whether they passed away at the same time or if one outlived the other by some period. At first, investigators leaned toward a tragic but common cause, carbon monoxide poisoning. It made sense, especially in the colder months when heaters are in use. The couple was found dead this week in their New Mexico home. On Friday, investigators ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning. There were no signs of forced entry, no obvious evidence of foul play. But as the investigation unfolded, that theory quickly unraveled. There were no gas leaks, no carbon monoxide issues, something else had happened inside that house. The details only became stranger. The front door was reportedly wide open. Gene was found collapsed in the mudroom as if he had fallen suddenly. Betsy lay in the bathroom, pills scattered around her. A portable heater sat nearby, adding yet another eerie piece to the puzzle. The discovery was as chilling as it was perplexing. Inside the house, in a closet, a dog was trapped in a tin can, lifeless. The sight alone was enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. But this was just one disturbing detail in a story filled with unanswered questions. This wasn't just another unfortunate Hollywood tale, it was a tangled mystery, a story with missing pieces that left investigators baffled. It all began with what should have been a routine visit. A caretaker responsible for checking in on the property arrived at the Hackman residence, expecting nothing out of the ordinary. But the moment he stepped onto the grounds, something felt wrong. The front door was wide open, a sight that immediately set off alarm bells. There was no movement inside, no voices, no television playing in the background, just a haunting, heavy silence. Cautiously, the caretaker made his way forward, and then he saw something that made his stomach drop. Without hesitation, he reached for his phone and dialed 911. "Are they awake? I have no idea. Are they breathing? I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's locked. I can't go in, but I see them, she's laying down from the window." His words were frantic and inconsistent. At first, he reported finding a person inside. Then, he corrected himself, there were two, but one of them was deceased. It was an odd slip. Throughout the call, his statements raised more questions than they answered. He insisted that he had not entered the home, yet he somehow knew that both Gene and Betsy were inside, one in the main part of the house and the other in a completely different area, the mudroom. He claimed to have seen Betsy through a window, lying motionless on the floor. At one point, he suggested they might still be awake or alert, but in the very next breath, he completely contradicted himself, insisting that they were not. As authorities launched their investigation, the timeline of events became even more unsettling. Based on forensic analysis, Gene and Betsy had likely been dead for up to 2 weeks before anyone found them. Investigators believe Hackman likely died at least 9 days before the bodies were discovered. In that time, their bodies had already begun mummifying, a chilling detail that raised even more questions. How had no one noticed? No family, no friends, no neighbors, no one had checked in for 2 whole weeks? Had they been deliberately isolated? And what about the dog locked away in a closet? Was it a coincidence, or did it hold a key piece of the puzzle? Let's explore further. Tragic coincidence or sinister plot? Gene and Betsy Hackman had an estimated fortune of $80 million, yet their home remained untouched, frozen in time, as if nothing had changed except for the grim reality of their fate. For days, no one knew what had happened to them. Then, a single phone call changed everything. What investigators found inside their home was nothing short of disturbing: a suicidal note by Gene Hackman's wife. Gene, once a strong and commanding figure, was discovered collapsed in the mudroom, as if he had fallen and simply couldn't get back up. Betsy was found in the bathroom, surrounded by scattered pills, with a portable oxygen tank nearby. And then came the most unsettling detail: their dog. Out of their 3 dogs, one was found dead, locked inside a kennel that had been shoved into the same bathroom where Betsy lay. At first, investigators considered carbon monoxide poisoning, a silent, odorless killer that has claimed countless lives. It made sense: a tragic accident, an unnoticed gas leak, a faulty heater slowly filling the home with poison. There had been cases where entire families perished in their sleep without ever realizing what was happening. Gene's collapse in the mudroom, Betsy's still body in the bathroom, and even the dog's death all seemed to fit that theory. There was no evidence of a break-in, no signs of a struggle, and no clear indication of violence. The pieces aligned too perfectly. But when the fire department arrived and conducted a thorough sweep of the house with specialized equipment, they found nothing, no trace of carbon monoxide. The theory that had seemed so logical suddenly fell apart. The caretaker's phone call, the contradictions in the details, the unsettling way the bodies were discovered, it all pointed to a deeper mystery. They examined everything: the air vents, the heating system, the kitchen appliances, every possible source that could have leaked toxic gas into the home. But the results were baffling. Nothing. No gas leaks, no dangerous buildup of fumes, no logical explanation. To be absolutely certain, the gas company conducted its own investigation. Their experts went over every detail. The company stated they had now conducted what they called an extensive investigation of the home, saying there were no significant findings. They checked for anything that might have been missed, yet once again, they found nothing. No malfunctioning equipment, no blocked vents, no faulty heaters. Whatever had caused Gene and Betsy's deaths, it wasn't carbon monoxide. With that possibility completely ruled out, the case took an even more puzzling turn. Then came another clue: a bottle of pills found in the bathroom right next to Betsy. And then there was the dog, a disturbing anomaly in an already bizarre case. Carbon monoxide poisoning wouldn't explain its death, and yet there it was, locked inside a closet. With every answer came more questions. This wasn't just an unexpected death, it was a full-blown mystery. Nothing about the case made sense. The pieces of the puzzle refused to fit. Gene Hackman, a man who had spent his life captivating audiences on the big screen, was now at the center of a real-life thriller. But this time, there was no script, no director, and no clear resolution. The truth of what happened inside that house was still out there, waiting to be uncovered. The worker who made the emergency 911 call sounded deeply shaken. His voice trembled, and he kept repeating the word "damn" in disbelief. He had just seen something that left him shocked. Through a window, he could see the motionless body of Arakawa inside the house. Panic took over as he quickly called for help, urging the emergency dispatcher to send assistance as soon as possible. He explained that the house was locked, which meant there was no easy way to get inside right away. When law enforcement officers arrived at the scene, they discovered a tragic situation. They found Hackman's body in a mudroom, a small entryway often used as a buffer between the outdoors and the main part of the house. Arakawa's body was located in a bathroom near a heater. The sight raised immediate concerns, and investigators quickly began searching for clues that could explain what had happened. During their inspection of the house, detectives found an open prescription bottle with pills scattered nearby. This discovery stood out as an important piece of evidence, and investigators believed it could play a key role in understanding what led to the couple's deaths. Santa Fe County Sheriff Adon Mendoza later revealed that the couple might have been dead for about 2 weeks before they were finally discovered. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office revealed that the couple may have been dead for up to 9 days before being found. One of the most puzzling aspects of the case was that there were no visible injuries on either of the bodies. The fact that one door to the house was slightly open while others remained unlocked raised more questions. Despite these uncertainties, there were no clear signs of a break-in or violent struggle inside the home. The sheriff's office shared the first findings from the medical examination, stating that there was no external trauma on the bodies. This meant that, from the outside, there were no signs of wounds, bruises, or any injuries that could immediately explain their deaths. However, the investigation was far from over. The final cause of death would not be determined until further medical tests were completed, including an autopsy and toxicology screening. An autopsy is a thorough examination of the body to check for internal injuries, health conditions, or other factors that might have contributed to death. Toxicology tests, on the other hand, are used to detect the presence of drugs, alcohol, or poisonous substances in the body. These tests would be crucial in figuring out if the couple had been exposed to something harmful, whether intentionally or accidentally. As authorities waited for these results, they continued gathering information, speaking with people who knew the couple, and piecing together their last known activities. Neighbors and friends were likely to be interviewed to see if anyone had noticed anything unusual in the days leading up to the discovery. Investigators would also check surveillance footage from nearby properties, if available, to see if anyone had entered or exited the home recently. The possibility of an accidental overdose was also being considered. Prescription medication, if taken incorrectly or mixed with other substances, can sometimes have dangerous effects. If the scattered pills near Arakawa's body were linked to their deaths, toxicology reports would provide the confirmation needed. However, until the results came back, all theories remained speculative. This case was particularly eerie because of the length of time it took before the bodies were found. 2 weeks is a long time for people to go unnoticed, raising concerns about how often they had been in contact with others before their deaths. In the meantime, the authorities urged patience from the public, emphasizing that thorough investigations take time. While there were no immediate signs of foul play, nothing could be ruled out until all the evidence was examined carefully. The tragic discovery of Hackman and Arakawa's bodies left their community in shock. Many questions still needed answers, but for now, investigators remained focused on uncovering the truth about what happened inside that house. Had anyone tried to reach them? Did they live in a remote area where their absence wasn't immediately noticed? Let's take a closer look. Speculations about Gene and Betsy Hackman's death continue to swirl, with various theories attempting to explain the tragic end of the couple's lives. Yet, none of them provide a clear and definite answer. With no solid proof of foul play, investigators and the public are left trying to piece together the last moments of the couple's lives. One theory suggests a medical emergency followed by suicide. Gene Hackman, at 94 years old, had battled health issues for years. Then there's the argument gone wrong theory. A heated dispute escalates, maybe over something trivial, maybe over something much more serious. In a moment of anger, one pushes the other, and a tragic accident unfolds. But then comes a much darker possibility: neglect or even foul play. The timeline itself raises red flags. Even more unsettling is the fact that their bodies were found in separate rooms, yet the caretaker who called 911 somehow knew both were dead without even stepping inside. Another possibility is an accidental overdose and an unattended death. Perhaps Betsy took too many pills, whether intentionally or not, and lost consciousness. If Gene found her but was unable to help due to his own declining health, confusion, or even a medical emergency of his own, it could explain the eerie silence surrounding their deaths. Each theory offers a piece of the puzzle, but none fully complete the picture. And with so much uncertainty, the truth about Gene and Betsy Hackman's final days may never come to light. Beyond the unsettling circumstances of their deaths, there's another aspect that raises eyebrows: the eerie silence from those closest to them. Only one of Hackman's 3 children has publicly acknowledged their passing. For a man of his stature, one would assume he had a strong support system, people who looked out for him, checked in on him. But the reality appears to be something different. Then there's the question of the house itself. A property worth millions would likely have regular upkeep, maintenance workers, landscapers, security. Yet for nearly 2 weeks, no one sounded the alarm. And then there's the matter of money: $80 million in assets, a fortune that could change hands overnight. The silence from the family only deepens the mystery. As more time passes, new details may emerge, but for now, the lack of answers only adds to the unsettling nature of this case. At first, it seemed like a straightforward tragedy, perhaps carbon monoxide poisoning. But when that was ruled out, the investigation had to go deeper. The pieces don't fit: Gene in the mudroom, Betsy in the bathroom, pills scattered on the floor, a dog locked away in a closet, also dead. The house untouched for weeks. The front door left open. A 911 call that raised more suspicions than it answered. Theories have been put forward, each offering a possible explanation, but none tie everything together seamlessly. What really happened inside that house? Was this just an unfortunate tragedy of old age and circumstance, or is there something far more chilling waiting to be uncovered? Let's find out. The news of Gene Hackman's passing sent shockwaves throughout Hollywood and beyond, as people from all walks of life, including fellow actors, directors, and even royalty, paid tribute to his remarkable career. The overwhelming outpouring of respect and admiration highlighted just how much of an impact Hackman had on the film industry and those who had the privilege of working with him. The Prince of Wales himself shared his sorrow, calling Hackman a true genius of film and praising his ability to bring every character to life with authenticity and quality. Such words from a royal figure emphasize Hackman's influence, not just as a movie star but as a cultural icon whose performances resonated with audiences worldwide. Fellow actors who worked closely with Hackman also reflected on their experiences with him. Morgan Freeman, who starred alongside him in the 2000 thriller Under Suspicion, described their collaboration as one of the highlights of his career. "I had the pleasure of working alongside Gene on 2 films, Unforgiven and Under Suspicion." For someone as accomplished as Freeman to say this speaks volumes about Hackman's skill and presence on screen. It's clear that his performances left a lasting impression even on industry veterans. Director Francis Ford Coppola, who worked with Hackman on The Conversation in 1974, described him as both inspiring and complex. The Conversation was a film that showcased Hackman's incredible range as he played a surveillance expert consumed by paranoia and doubt. Coppola's praise highlights Hackman's ability to dive deep into the emotional layers of his characters, making them feel real and relatable. Comedy legend Bill Murray, who co-starred with Hackman in The Royal Tenenbaums, called him a tough nut and a really good actor. Murray's words suggest that Hackman had a strong, no-nonsense personality but was deeply respected for his craft. His ability to switch between dramatic and comedic roles with ease made him a rare talent in Hollywood. Beyond the film industry, even musicians like Sting recognized Hackman's influence, calling him a legend. This kind of admiration from artists outside of cinema shows how Hackman's work transcended film and left an impression on a wide range of creative minds. Perhaps one of the most touching tributes came from Clint Eastwood, who directed Hackman in Unforgiven. Eastwood, known for his reserved nature, said Hackman would be deeply missed. Their collaboration in Unforgiven led to Hackman winning an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, proving just how powerful his performances could be. Gene Hackman's passing marks the end of an era in Hollywood. He was an actor who brought intensity, realism, and nuance to every role he played. His ability to connect with audiences, whether as a ruthless villain, a troubled hero, or a comedic presence, set him apart as one of the greatest actors of his time. The tributes pouring in from all corners of the entertainment world reflect the respect and admiration he earned throughout his illustrious career. What are your thoughts on the shocking discovery of Gene Hackman's wife's suicidal note by the FBI? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.